Alrighty, I need to share something with you all. When I read the gospel and I get in front of this camera, there is a lot of time reflecting and asking the Holy Spirit, what do you want me to say about this gospel to help people live the way that Jesus wants us to live and to understand the Catholic faith? So I don't read the Gospels in advance. I don't sit here and batch record a bunch of stuff because that's not prayerful communication from the Lord through me, I don't believe. So when I read the Gospel for this Sunday, I about fell out of my chair because it is the Solemnity of the Holy Trinity. And I mentioned that last Gospel that I was baptized in the Catholic Church in the name of the Father and the Son and of the Holy Spirit. And I briefly described the fact that the Holy Trinity is one God, but three distinct divine persons. This is just not really comprehensible by our minds. We live in this kind of 3D object world, so we can't fathom one God, three different distinct persons, but yet one being. It is a mystery, and a mystery means you have to have some faith to believe it. So I have my laptop in front of me because I do want to reference the Catechism of the Catholic Church, EWTN, and the National Catholic Register, who are going to help me describe and help define what the Holy Trinity is. So I am going to be reading a little bit, but first, the Gospel for this Sunday. Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20. The 11 disciples went to Galilee, to the mountain to which Jesus had ordered them. When they all saw him, they worshipped, but they doubted. Then Jesus approached and said to them, "All power in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always till the end of the age." That's it. Go on, go baptize everybody in the name of the Father and the Son and of the Holy Spirit. Do everything that I've commanded you, meaning everything that I have taught you over my ministry in these last 40 days to implement the one church, my body. Go do it and baptize people in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So, I guess I would look at it like a sun, the sun. The sun has warmth and light and radiation, but it's the sun. Or H2O is water and steam and ice, but it's H2O. So it's difficult for us again to understand this, but I'm trying to think about how some people want to look at it in an object form. Let's try a mathematical equation. 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. That's not this. 1 times 1 times 1 = 1. So they're all God, but they're distinctly different. And I'm going to go and share some things that, again, were on EWTN, the National Catholic Register, and the Catechism of the Catholic Church, in case you want to go reference them at another point in time. All right, so again, it is the deepest, most profound of all mysteries, the Trinity. The Church, the Catholic Church, teaches us that although there is only one God, yet somehow there are three persons in God. The Father is God, the Son is God, and the Holy Spirit is God. Yet we do not speak of three gods, but only one. They have the same nature, substance, and being. We came to know this immense mystery because Christ revealed it to us. Just before ascending, he told them, and oddly enough, this is the gospel I just read to you, not odd at all. Go teach all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son and of the Holy Spirit, the Catholic sign. We know that these three are not just different ways of looking at one person. For at the Last Supper, Jesus told us, I came forth from the Father. So Jesus is different from the Father. But he also promised, if I go to the Father, if you remember the ascension, I will send him, the Paraclete, the Holy Spirit, to you, and he will guide you to all truth. So the Holy Spirit is also different. The Father generates the Son is generated by the Father, and the Holy Spirit proceeds from the Father and the Son. Let's put this another way. Even though the three persons are one God, they are distinct, for the Father has no origin. He came from no one. I mean, that in and of itself is a mystery, and you must have faith to believe that. But the Son is begotten. He comes from the Father alone. The Holy Spirit comes or proceeds from both the Father and the Son. These different relations of origin tells us that there are three distinct persons who have one and the same divine nature. So we speak of the Father especially as the power of creation, of the Son as the wisdom of the Father, and of the Holy Spirit as goodness and sanctification. I'm going to finish with one kind of heavy paragraph here. The two doctrines of the Holy Trinity and the Incarnation are the foundation of Christian life and worship. By becoming man, God, the Son, offered us a share in the inner life of the Trinity. And by grace, we are brought into perfect communion of life and love, which is God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I'm going to stop here. I'm going to repeat that. By grace, we are brought into the perfect communion of life and love, which is God. This is what I was saying last week. I was given the grace of love, the fatherly love, godly love. And that means it can only come from God. It's given to us. It's this perfect love in God. That's not, a light sentence here. You can only receive it from God. This sharing in the life of the Trinity is meant to culminate in heaven, where we will see the three persons face to face, united to them in unspeakable love. This mystery will be answered for us when we get into heaven. We are not supposed to understand everything. If you remember, doubting Thomas, I will not believe unless I put my hands in his side and put my fingers in his wounds, that he is resurrected. And then once he does, Jesus says, blessed are those who believe and have not seen like you, Thomas. That's faith. And faith is also given to you by the grace of God. So, what's the point of the whole solemnity of the Holy Trinity? Baptism. Go be disciples and baptize your children in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Even though my family was not practicing at all the Catholic faith, my mother and father still put me and my two brothers through the entire Catholic process, all the way from baptism, First Communion, and confirmation. I didn't learn a thing. Okay, I learned a few things. I shouldn't say that. I just, it wasn't something that our family was into. But at the time, as my mom says, it was something that we just did. And I am so happy that she did and my dad did. They baptized me, which in the Holy Spirit, they basically put God in me, who I think has protected me from all my stupid decisions, all my silly lifestyle. I mean, if I didn't have God in me, I would be dead or in jail. No question. So I am so grateful that they put me in God's hands, baptizing me, making me an indelible, forever marked child of God. So if you have children, or if yourself you are not baptized, or you are looking at Catholicism, go through the RCIA process. Be transformed. Become the one church that Jesus passed on to the apostles, that Mary took with John from the cross, the foot of the cross, and see how God in the Holy Spirit inside you can make your life so much richer, fill you with love and joy and peace like you have never experienced before. But you have to do it. And I don't understand why some people say, I want my children to grow up to figure this out on their own. Well, if they want to, when they grow up, they can go in another direction. But don't you want God inside them as they grow up? Baptize. Get baptized. Adult children, be a part of God's children, His family. Only good can come from it. I am telling you, I would be dead or in jail if I didn't have God inside me, somehow saving me from myself. Oh, you have no idea. Which is again why I am sitting here. And the anxiety and the worry and the stress and the happiness I thought I had, and living the life that I thought this world told me to live to be happy, is so far from real joy, real peace, and real love. I've felt it. I know it. I am here to spread the word. That is why I'm in front of this camera, as I say numerous times, and I will probably say numerous more times. I want you to have it. God in you. Baptize yourself, your children, if you haven't. And if you have, just ask God to open Himself to you. You have to ask. He will not force Himself on you. Free will is the whole point here. And quite frankly, if you even have a mustard seed of faith, why take the chance of burning in hell? Ask God to help you love Him and be with Him for eternity. He'll do the rest. He'll meet you where you are. It doesn't matter how long you've been away. I was gone for decades. So again, have a blessed and inspired week. And remember, baptism with the Lord. Children, you, everyone. Sorry, my computer is sitting here talking to me. Well, let me finish that again. I'm not going to redo this whole thing. You've seen me admit that it goes from start to end. I really want you to think about how amazing it is if you've been baptized that you have God just sitting in you. So ask Him to help you. And if you haven't baptized your children, please, I encourage you, put God in them. He's going to help them throughout their entire life, whether they know it, look for it, or want it. Okay, have a blessed and inspired week. Sorry for the fumbling at the end. See you next time.